JPG coaching is not a credible source of information. Part 2. So this guy says a lot of things that aren't correct, but sound correct because he uses exercise science jargon to sound smart. So he's a misogynist that attacks women and makes a claim that sumo deadlifts and wide stance squats aren't good glute exercises because the adductor is the prime mover. Anyone who's done any sort of actual squatting knows this is false. In a sumo deadlift, you can clearly see the hips are way more open, which stretches out the inner thigh or adductor muscles. He claims that a wider stance lengthens the adductors in the bottom of the position and shortens the glutes. This is true. He also claims that because of that, the adductor is the prime mover and the glutes see less activation. You see, a student who hasn't finished their degree stops their thinking there, and that's why all of his information isn't credible, because it's only halfway thought through. Where an expert says, that doesn't really line up with my experience and knowledge, let's think further. Let's think about the force-length relationship. This says that when a muscle's in its longest state or shortest state, it produces the least amount of force. Think like an old Viking ship that's pulled halfway up on shore. It just has less oars in the water. The bottom of the movement, when the adductor is super stretched out, is kind of weak, so it's not the main mover. But how do the glutes respond? In this scenario, the glutes are what we call load-dependent muscles. Meaning as the weights get heavier, as you become more fatigued, they start to realize, hey, these adductors ain't it, and they fire way more muscle fibers. Sounds kind of bro-science-y. Is that substantiated in research? Yeah, just look for 5 seconds. We haven't even gotten into moment arms yet. With a wider stance squat and equal weight, it's going to put more torque about the hips than a narrow stance squat. Here's the equation for torque. It's pretty simple. It just says the moment arm times the weight, how fast it's moving, at the angle it's moving, gives you the total torque. So the two biggest drivers of glute activity are going to be stance, wider the better, and depth, the deeper the better. So with a more narrow stance, typically you can get deeper. That's why a lot of times people say squat with a narrow stance for glutes. So moral of the story, this guy goes around giving unsolicited advice to women that's not even true. So just do whatever you want to do. Have fun. It all works.